You said you didn't want him to see it coming.
Yes.
What did you hit him with?
A hammer.
A hammer?
Yes.
Okay.
And I basically killed him with it.
Meet Shelby Nealy, a seemingly ordinary guy with an extraordinary confession to the murder of his father-in-law, Richard Ivancic. But as the details unravel, it becomes clear that this is just the tip of the iceberg, and the story takes a horrifying turn when Shelby reveals the fate of his mother-in-law, Laura.
So where are you at when she comes in the front door?
Oh, I welcome her and everything, and then she's walking towards the kitchen, and then I get her before she sees anything coming.
So she never saw her husband laying there?
Mm-mm.
Or you used the same hair to kill all three of them?
Yes.
You knew you f***ed them up the most, so I was assuming that you saw the damage.
No, because blood went everywhere. And
As you're hitting them, blood's going everywhere.
Yeah, that was the first time that happened.
But even after all these shocking confessions, Shelby still had another disturbing secret that was about to send a shiver down the spine of the detectives. This bone-chilling story started off with a 911 call in January 2019, made by Richard's elder son, whose name we chose to keep private.
Good afternoon. I live in West Palm Beach, and I'm calling about a possible welfare check on my father. He lives in Tarpon Springs. I've been trying to reach him since just before Christmas, and without any luck. Him and his wife.
What's the name of the person we're going to be checking on?
Richard Ivancic, Ivancit, and his wife's name is Laura.
When police arrived at the address, a foul odor greeted them. Inside the house, they discovered the bodies of 71-year-old Richard Ivancic, 59-year-old Laura Ivancic, and 25-year-old Nick Ivancic, all in an advanced state of decomposition. The walls showed rough paint stains, and it seemed like attempts had been made to clean the bodies with chemical agents. Searching for clues, officers noticed the family's car was missing and found a shallow hole dug beside the house. When police spoke to the neighbors to gather any information, they reported seeing a young man in his 20s digging the hole, accompanied by a child. The description of the man was clear, and the officers immediately recognized him as Shelby Nealy, Richard and Laura's son-in-law. As Shelby's name came up, another concern surfaced. His wife, Jamie, had also been missing. This raised a chilling question. Could the unthinkable have happened to Jamie as well? Tracking Shelby Nealy became an urgent priority, and it didn't take long for authorities to follow his trail. He had been using his in-laws' payment cards at pawn shops and was driving Laura's car. This led police to locate him in Lakewood, Ohio, where he was arrested on January 1st, 2019. A Florida officer traveled to Ohio to meet the man behind the haunting crimes. However, Shelby turned out to be very different from what one might expect of a ruthless killer who had taken 3 lives within 24 hours.
How you doing, Shelby? Detective Anderson, have a seat. Cold? Yeah, some coffee. I heard you wanted some coffee, so we got you some coffee.
I appreciate it.
Right. I understand you wanted to talk to me?
Yeah, well, I thought we were going to get this done in the morning and everything. I didn't know.
Would you prefer to talk in the morning? I'm here to, I want to talk to you as soon as possible. I came a long way to talk to you.
Yeah, how late are you here till in the morning?
Well, man, I'd rather do it now. I mean, I traveled a long way in a short amount of time.
No, man.
Okay, all right.
I apologize.
That's okay. Hey, like I said, I'm here to listen to you. Okay.
Do you think I could possibly get a blanket, though? I do. I hate to ask. I just have bad PTSD with
a
cold.
blanket or anything like that?
Yeah, sure.
All right, they're going to get you one. All right.
I'm sorry. I just have bad PTSD with coldness.
PTSD with coldness?
Yeah.
Okay.
I was homeless for like half a year in the winter of 2015 and 2014.
Oh, really? Where was that at?
Up here in Ohio.
Okay. What's that supposed to be? Okay.
Shelby begins the conversation with an almost unbelievable calmness for someone just apprehended for 3 murders. But this is only the start. His eerie composure is enough to send chills down anyone's spine.
Where do you want to start?
Well, we're not going bullshit. We know why you're here. It's for the 3 deaths and everything.
Okay.
Correct? well, obviously I did it. I'm trying to think of where I begin this long story.
Do you want me to ask you a question to get you started?
I mean,
Or do you want to just think about it and you can start wherever you want?
I mean, the story kind of like, because I know your questions are basically like, why the f did this happen, for obvious reasons. I mean, you know what, why don't you start with questions and I'll just make my way into the story
Okay.
in a second. So
Okay.
go
Well, I want to start way back.
way back.
Childhood. How was your childhood?
Oh, we want to go there. You know, it was good, man.
Mom and dad both there? Single mom, single dad?
My birth father, he was in Texas my whole childhood.
Shelby's childhood showed no signs of trauma, except for his father passing away right before his 17th birthday. So it almost rules out the detective's initial suspicion of deep-rooted mental issues. However, his cold, calculated demeanor hinted at psychopathy. Alternatively, it seemed he might be deliberately portraying himself as a character in a twisted movie, believing he was the anti-hero of his own story.
So your dad passes away.
Yes.
So then you're with your mom and your stepdad?
Yes.
Okay. How was it growing up? I mean, good?
I mean,
You said it was relatively good childhood?
yeah, childhood was good. I didn't run into problems until literally my early adult life, like literally as soon as I turned 18.
So when you were a kid, how were you disciplined? There was no like physical abuse, mental abuse?
No. I mean, I would get disciplined like any other kid. I was bad, you know.
Well, everybody has different...
Get ground for my stuff, get my stuff taken away, but you know, I wasn't the easiest of children to deal with either, you know.
Like getting into mischief or?
Yeah, I was very mischievous and rebellious growing up. I also got prescribed ADHD. I just think the rebellion came from like strict rules and everything, like a normal child.
Right. You just didn't like the rules?
Yeah. So I would just break them and everything.
Well, kids go through that.
Yeah. My I don't know if I'm psychotic or not, but my psychosis didn't really start taking effect till I was like starting to go through stuff. Early adult life, I turned 18. I moved out of my parents' house. You know, I'm still in school. I'm smoking weed and all this shit. I knock up a girl, and then just somewhere down the lines, I drop out of school. We marry, and I don't know, shit was just. I think I just had too much going on my plate back.
That's a lot for a young man to handle.
I just was still dealing with my dad's death and everything, so I started lashing out and hitting her and everything, and the marriage ended.
And what was her name?
Her name was Caitlin.
Caitlin?
Yeah,
Okay.
but we're on good, just because all that stuff happened back in the past, we're on very good terms now.
Shelby calmly described a severe act of domestic violence, showing absolutely no remorse. It was as if nothing could affect him, but the chilling interview was about to take an even darker turn.
So how long were you homeless? Approximately?
6 months.
6 months. And what changed?
When I met my second wife, which is their mother.
Jamie.
Yes.
Okay. And how did you meet Jamie?
I was a manager at Burger King by this point. Her brother was my employee.
And where is this at? What city and state?
This is Ohio. This is actually up here.
Okay.
Before we all moved down here. Parma,
Okay.
Ohio.
What city in Ohio?
Parma.
Parma. Okay.
I went home with him one night and to smoke weed, and she was just sitting there in the garage, and we just sort of just hit it off from there.
Okay.
And I started dating her and living with her, and that's when shit really started getting bad. You know, everything was cool at first. Occasionally we would argue, and you know, she would, you know, smack me here and there. And I was like, you know, it's whatever. It's a woman. They lose control of their emotions. And by this point, of course, you know, this is after the whole domestic violence I'm really not trying to hit a woman and all that. So, unfortunately, their daughter was very, how do I put it, disrespectful towards rules when living under... Can I get some water? I'm sorry.
As he casually insults every single woman on earth, Shelby sips his coffee and quenches his thirst with a glass of water before revealing a disturbing story.
How do you think you're doing as a dad?
How do I think I'm doing as a dad?
Yeah. With your kids.
I think I did pretty damn good as
Yeah.
a dad. Yeah.
What do you think about Jamie as a mother? How do you think she does?
She did not do good.
Can you give me some examples of why she didn't do good?
Well, I mean, I'm going to be honest with you. She's not alive anymore because of what she tried to do. We're going to get into that.
Okay.
You know, I do apologize that when I first started the conversation, it was kind of hard for me to like piece together how to like tell you that, but you know, we're at a good point now. She passed away. There was we'll get into this incident, but there was an incident down in Florida where she had an extreme case of psychosis, and I'm sure you can look up all her records and stuff. I'm sure you've seen that she's attacked her parents in the past and all that good shit.
Mm-hmm.
She would get into a mode that she just could not control. When I tell you, it would literally be like looking into the eyes of a demon. It literally was. So she came at my daughter with a knife after she had like got done severely beating me. And there are scars on my body and shit, you know. And I'm not giving myself an excuse, man. I'm just telling you the reason as to why shit happened.
Mm-hmm.
But when you come at my daughter with a knife, you know, I have to stop you.
Right.
And unfortunately, I went too far. I choked her out, and then when the blood started coming out of her nose, I stopped. But
It was too late.
it was too late.
And where was that at?
This was at a house. This was the last house that we had down in Florida, and this was about a year ago.
So she's been deceased for a year.
Yes.
Okay, was that in West Palm?
No, this was in close to Tarpon Springs,
Pasco?
Newport Richey.
Where is she now?
I buried her in that backyard.
She's in the backyard of that home.
Yes, buried. All right. So say this is like the little deck that you walk in on.
Okay.
You turn immediately right and like walk 5 steps out, and she should be buried right there.
Jamie, who was initially believed to be missing, had actually been dead for a year. This meant Shelby had managed to avoid capture from January 2018 to January 2019. Now, the pressing question was, how did he manage to stay under the radar for so long?
Did anybody ever ask you where she was?
Oh yeah. I mean, I lied.
Well, I obviously you're gonna lie, you know, something like that has happened, but I'm like, who asks you where she is? Like, doesn't Nick go, hey, where's my sister? Or her parents call you, or?
Well, yeah. And thankfully, I knew her so well. I knew how to act like her. It was weird, man. You know, they never talked to her over the phone or anything. I would just act like her. I was on text message and everything. You know, sometimes I would act angry at the parents and all this stuff, but dude, I would just feel bad. So I would like send them pictures and everything of the kids because like they were persistent. And of course, you know, everybody else, you know, because I left Florida immediately.
After that?
Yeah.
Let me, and I don't think I asked this.
Go ahead.
Approximately, what was the date that this occurred?
It literally happened around a year last year ago. Like,
Approximately a year ago?
Like literally in the beginning of 2018, like January.
January of 2018?
Yes, like I was gone by the end of 2018. Or not, by the end of January, I'm sorry.
Okay. So do you remember the beginning of January? Or end of January?
It was definitely middle of January.
Middle of January of 2018 on Norwood Avenue in Newport Richey.
Yes.
do you think's important, or do you want to get off your chest? Or,
No, I mean, this is the type of shit she did to me. She,
what was that from? Fingernails, a knife, or
This was a knife. This was a hammer.
that the mark right here?
Yeah. I don't know, man.
Did you ever call the police on her
The police were called on her multiple times
in New Port Richey, or where?
in just in Florida and Ohio, man. Like, but I was just under her control, man. Like, I know I come across as the evil one, and quite honestly, I am. You know, I'm a monster for the shit I did. But unfortunately, there's a reason for the shit that I did. She would go in jail. Her parents would lie for her. She would come out. She would go into the psych ward. Her parents would lie for her. She would come out. I would lie for her because I was under her control.
Now, when you say she was like the psychosis that you described, was she seeing a doctor or a
She
psychologist?
refused to.
Refused to? Was she on any meds?
She refused to be on any meds.
So
She thought that she didn't need any help.
during the duration that you knew her, she never went to a doctor that you know of for her
We
mental
tried.
issues? We
We tried to get her there, but she just did not like what the doctors had to say, and so she'd be like, "I'm not going there anymore." It was, you know, every day my kids saw a woman beating on their dad, and I just didn't want that.
Shelby could have concealed the fact that he pretended to be Jamie, but he chose to reveal it. This suggests a sense of pride and further underscores his psychopathic tendencies. Moreover, his calm demeanor suggests he still believes he was justified in his actions and is trying to play the victim card. Also, it's quite shocking that Jamie's family never attempted to check on her, despite not receiving any response from her for an entire year.
I bought a place in Elyria. I tried to make it work. I even got a job and everything, but people just weren't babysitting my kids. And babysitting was hard to come by.
Mm-hmm.
And of course, during that time period, I was afraid to get on welfare because it's like they're going to be looking for
Mom.
They're going to be like, "Where's mom?" And then, so I lasted there for like a couple months. And then I can't make it. My parents can't help me because my brother has cancer at this point. He beat it though.
Okay, that's good.
Yeah. So I have to move to Texas to where all my other family is at. So I did that for like half a year, I believe.
Who did you stay with in Texas?
I stayed with my granny for the most part. And then me and her got into it.
What's her name?
Oh shit. Deborah Gray.
Deborah Gray. Okay. She's still living?
Yeah, she's alive.
Okay.
Then she kicked me out because she couldn't handle the kids. But I was working a good job. I was working in the oil field for a while there. And then I get another place. And I'm working and everything. I'm still trying to shake off in Jamie's family for the most part. And it's just...
Are they pestering you? Like, where is she? We haven't seen her.
No, it's not even that.
You're still doing the texting like you're her.
Yeah.
But did she have her own phone and you had your own phone, or did you guys only have one phone that you shared?
We only had one phone.
Okay. Because I was thinking to myself, like, you had to keep paying the bill to keep playing
yeah.
like you were her.
Yeah,
Okay.
no,
So you shared a phone and you just pretended to be her.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. Well, I wouldn't really call it sharing a phone. It was mostly hers, but yeah, that's how that happened.
Okay. So Granny says you need to go.
Yeah, I get my own place, and then I had my own place for like another 3 months, so we're getting towards the end of the year, and unfortunately now I'm seeing something has to be done because I don't want to get caught.
So, in a desperate attempt to save himself, Shelby devised a chilling plan. A plan so sinister it would shock all of Florida. And very soon, he would reveal the reasons behind it.
Okay. Well, let me ask you this. So you initiate conversation with Laura.
Mm-hmm.
when do you leave Texas and drive to Florida? What date?
I can tell you it's in the beginning of December. As far as the exact datage, I would have to go through my phone to be able to tell you that.
Okay. Like, in relation to Christmas, how many weeks prior to Christmas do you think you got to Florida?
It was definitely like beginning of December.
Beginning of December, you drive from Texas to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
What are you driving?
Her old car that I have.
Beginning to mid-December?
No, it was beginning.
Beginning in December, you pack up the kids.
Mm-hmm.
Pack up, I'm assuming, the stuff you're taking with you because you're leaving everything else behind, right?
Mm-hmm.
You drive to Florida.
Mm-hmm.
Does she know you're coming, or you just kind of show up?
No, she knows I'm coming.
She knows you're coming.
However, she thinks that Jamie is staying behind due to work issues and everything.
Okay. So you arrive.
Mm-hmm.
How's it go?
It goes great at first. I kept putting off killing them. If I'm going to talk about this moment, we're going to talk about it. I put off killing them, and I tried to look for every alternative not to do it. And of course, I didn't have to do it. There was no reason for me to do all this,
But he did it anyway. And the next part of the interrogation would shed light on the motive behind this horrifying triple murder.
I was coming up on a year that she was dead and everything. I just wanted to... This is going to sound ridiculous, but at the end of the day, I just wanted to make sure my kids were okay,
So were you worried that they were going to try to take them from you?
I was worried that they were going to try to take them from me. I was worried that, honestly, no offense to them, they were great people, and I did care about them and love them greatly. I did. I actually got along with her more than my own mother,
Right.
which is sad. I didn't want to do this shit, man. I didn't want to do any of this shit. But they just don't know how to raise kids, man. Like, flat out.
Shelby killed 4 people who were family to him, all under the guise of protecting his kids. His paranoia about believing his children might turn out like their mother Jamie is hard to comprehend. His statements reveal his prejudiced nature and even contradictions. He said he had to do something to save himself from being caught after killing Jamie, and he knew that her family was the biggest threat to him. So, one can get the idea as to why he actually killed the Ivancic family.
I kept putting it off. They were enjoying time with their grandkids, and
At what point in time did you decide I have to kill them? Was it when you were driving there?
No. I fought with it literally up until I did it.
Okay, so when was your first thought of, I need to kill them?
Oh, it was definitely on my way there.
While you're driving there, you're thinking to
Right.
myself, I need to kill them.
Yeah, if I'm going to survive and raise these kids and not get caught. And then I get there.
Because they pose a threat to, what you believe was a threat to your custody of your children.
Shelby had planned to kill the Ivancic family from the start, but claimed he held off from doing so, and instead continued to watch them spend time with his kids. Despite this, he went through with the murders, showing he was more sadistic than emotional. It seems Shelby doesn't truly understand the concept of emotions, no matter what he says.
Trash.
No, you're doing great, man.
It's hard for me, man.
You're doing great. You're doing great. While we're in the steps, I'm trying to get stuff. I don't want to forget things.
Of course.
And I kind of want to try to, as sequential order as we can, so we're not jumping around. You know what I mean?
If I'm being honest with you, we've been doing awesome on the order. As far as time and everything, as far as chronological order.
Okay.
We've been doing very good.
So, go from there. You get there, you said everything was going great at first, right?
Yeah, by the way, also what made things easier to not be able to talk on the phone with them, for Jamie not to be able to talk on the phone with them, There was a debt collector from the old house, because, you know, the old house got trashed. I kind of trashed it to, like, make them not really, like, think that there was a dead body there, you know.
Try to throw them off.
Yeah. I was trying to be intelligent. You know, it's the most unintelligent thing you can do.
Well, while we're talking about that, when you put her in the grave, you cover it, did you do anything to, like, disguise the top of the grave? Like, put leaves over it or anything? Because, you know, I've seen, you know, you look at the backyard, you don't want to see this fresh pile of dirt.
Yeah, no, I put something over it. It was, we had a bunch of, like, these wooden, oh, god damn it, what are they fucking called? Not wooden planks, but, like, basically, there was a bunch of shit that could have been used for construction in our backyard that I, like, put over.
Just laid it over the top of it. And what did you do with the excess dirt? Just spread it around the yard, or?
Oh, I just put it all in the grave. It all fit in there.
Oh,
and
it
then I
did?
just, like, smoothed it out and then put stuff over it.
Okay. All right, so fast forward, we're back to your Tarpon Springs. Your kids are staying in the bedroom with you. You go down the hall, first door on the right.
Yeah.
Correct?
Yeah.
Okay.
So I'm there for probably a good 2 weeks before I killed him, though. Unfortunately, I almost got out of it too, because, you know, with this debt, you know, I acted like this debt collector, had like a undercover agent that you can buy, or whatever it's called. I forget what it's called. But basically, I made it seem like that this debt collector knew where Jamie was at if she were to enter Florida. So then at the end they were like, well, we could just come to Texas with you and visit her. And then on that day, you know.
So is that when you decided I have to kill them?
Yeah.
Because they're getting too inquisitive? Is that why?
No, they weren't even inquisitive, man. They were always trusting of me. They
And do you remember what the date was?
December 15th and December 16th.
December 15th and December 16th is when you killed them?
Yes.
Okay, do you remember?
The
Okay.
parents, go ahead with your
No,
question.
no, I don't want to stop you. Go ahead.
Um,
You said the parents.
The parents passed away first, and then I dragged their bodies into their room, cleaned it up, waited for Nick to get home, spent one last night with Nick, and then when he went to bed, I killed him too.
It's quite weird to know that Nick didn't even question the whereabouts of his parents for a complete day. But currently focusing on Shelby, he confessed to the murders of his in-laws as if it were nothing. He admitted to waiting for the perfect moment, constantly thinking about killing them, all while remaining as calm as a summer sea. His demeanor won't change, but the details he's trying to reveal will only grow more horrifying.
What did you hit him with?
A hammer.
A hammer?
Yes.
Okay.
And I basically killed him with it.
Okay. So I'm assuming when you say, where's the first place you struck him with the hammer?
In the back of the head.
Back of the head, like right in the middle of the back of the head?
Yeah.
You just came up behind him and
Yeah.
hit him? Does he fall?
Yes, he falls.
Just falls to his knees, or
No, he's unconscious. And then,
one shot, he's out?
well, he's
Unconscious.
unconscious, yeah.
Okay.
And then I whack him again a couple of times on the head to give him a quick death.
Do you remember where on the head?
No, because if I'm being honest with you, I wasn't trying to commit the act in the first place, so I'm not really trying to look. I know I definitely got him right here, but all I really did was bash him a couple of times and then walk away.
Okay.
And then he passed away.
Did you hear him still breathing, or?
When I did, I would go over there and whack him just to try to get him to be done, because I didn't want him to suffer anymore.
So, after you hit him the first couple times, you walk away,
Mhm.
and I just don't want to put words in your mouth. You hear him, so you go back and you hit him a couple more times?
Yes.
Okay. And how many times did you have to keep going back?
That was the only one time that I had to go back.
Okay, so if you had to guesstimate how many times you struck him with a hammer, what would you think?
I would say 5 to 7 times.
5 to 7 times. And it's right in the area by where your kids' toys were at?
Yeah.
Okay. Where are Bella and Oliver at when this is happening?
They're in the room.
They're in the
Yeah.
bedroom you were staring at with the door closed?
Yes.
Okay. Did they come out?
No, they can't open doors or anything.
They can't open doors.
No.
Okay.
No, I had the room completely baby-proof for them, so they were safe.
Shelby claimed his kids were safe, but safe from whom? Their innocent grandparents, or the monster of a father who was savagely bashing a man's head just outside their door. Regardless, it was now time to hear the details of Laura's murder.
You greet her at the door.
Yeah, and then
She starts
she starts walking towards the kitchen, still doesn't notice her husband.
Okay.
And then I basically take her out before she can notice anything.
Okay, and where do you hit her?
Same place.
Back of the head?
Yes.
Okay. She drops immediately?
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
And then...
So she's in the same room with her husband?
No, she's in a different room.
Okay, where?
She is in the living room, walking towards the kitchen. He's in the dining room.
Okay.
Towards the left and everything. Like I said, I don't know how she did not see him when...
He killed both of them an hour apart, but rather than taking a moment to feel guilt or regret over his actions, he calmly and patiently waited to murder Laura. This clearly shows that while Shelby might not fit the textbook definition of a psychopath, he undeniably exhibits psychopathic tendencies. It would be fair to say he's at least on the borderline.
Okay, so they're both down.
Drag both of them.
Which one do you drag first?
Definitely Rich.
Rich, he's on the area rug?
Yeah.
So you gotta tell me how you did it, because he's a pretty big dude, and I'm not taking this as offense. You're not near as big as he is.
Oh yeah,
you had to like busted your ass to get him back there.
God, did I ever.
Yeah. How long did it take you to get him from there down the hall and into the room?
Dude, honestly, only 5 minutes.
Probably your adrenaline through the roof, right?
Yeah.
I mean, you gotta be like, do you know when Nick's coming home, or is it like, oh shit, I gotta get going, Nick could come home, I gotta get them out of the way?
At that point, I didn't know when Nick was coming home, so you're right. Definitely adrenaline played a big part into it, I think, moving him. But yeah, I got him out of there in like 5 minutes, and then I moved her in there, and then I cleaned up all the blood with the mop and everything. And he didn't notice anything when he got home. I finally did get a hold of him.
Where was, and how did you get Laura into the bathroom?
There was another rug that was close to her. I threw a towel on her. Sorry, I'm fine. And then I put her on the rug, and then I dragged the rug.
Okay, but you brought Rich first.
Yes.
How did you get her past Rich? Because he was, from my recollection, he's laying on his back with the rug covering him in the doorway. You have to pass the doorway to get into the bathroom.
I'm sorry. I think I brought her in first.
Okay. That's why I'm asking these questions, because you could have done it, but I want to make sure we're right on the order, because for you to get her over the top of him would have been a pretty good feat.
Yeah.
So
no, that would not.
Now that you think about it, you're positive you drug her back first.
Yes, she got drugged back first.
Okay.
I apologize.
Okay, so you get both of them on their area rugs into the room, close the door. You just chill with the kids until Nick comes home?
Yeah. Yeah.
Okay. What time
is everything? It's like 6 or 7.
After committing 2 horrific murders, Shelby calmly waited for Nick to arrive. What he did next was nothing short of pure barbarity.
Because I saw a lot of blood stains on the couch.
Couch wasn't moved at that point.
I understand that, but is the blood staining that's on the couch from you striking him? Does he fall against the couch?
That's from Nick.
That's from Nick?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
So Dad falls there, nothing gets on that, you mop up the floor.
Yeah, the couch was right here at that point. It's not moved over there or anything. I'd move it over there during the process that I stay there.
Okay.
Nick was asleep on the couch when I killed him, so that's where all the blood stains on the couch come from.
Okay.
And then I moved the couch to block off that room so the kids don't run in.
Where are the dogs?
I put the dogs in there.
Were they still alive?
Yes. Dogs don't die until like literally the last minute. And
like before you leave?
Yeah.
Okay. So you just close the dogs in there with the 2 that you just killed?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. You're playing with the kids until 5 or 6 when Nick comes home?
Yeah.
Okay. You said you wanted to spend one last night with Nick?
Yeah.
But you said you have to kill him because obviously you killed his parents.
Yes.
Okay. So he comes home Tell me what happens when he comes home.
He comes home, he brings some weed and everything. He's got edibles and all that stuff. I start giving him money, and I order us a pizza. I get us more weed, that type of stuff.
How did you get more weed?
Huh?
How did you get more weed?
Oh, he went to the dealer to
Oh.
get some more and everything.
Did you go with him?
No, I stayed home.
Okay.
Um,
And he has a car, right? A minivan?
yeah.
Where's his minivan?
Minivan's parked in that driveway. That's his minivan.
The blue one that's there is his minivan.
Yes.
Because I talked to a bunch of people and they kept saying, no, that's not his minivan. And he drives a dark minivan, dark colored minivan. They kept saying this dark colored minivan. We couldn't find this dark colored minivan.
Old people are idiots sometimes, to be honest with you.
So that
They think
minivan-
they know there's something, yeah.
Okay, so that minivan that's still at the house is Nick's. Okay, I'm sorry, I know I interrupted you. Nick comes home, you guys are smoking weed, eating edible marijuana
Yeah.
together. Just,
Yeah.
you know, you guys have been friends for a long time. You want to spend one last night with him, so go ahead.
I mean, yeah, there's nothing much more to it.
What time is, so I'm assuming you guys are here watching TV together and he falls asleep at some point.
It will soon be revealed what exactly happened to the dogs, but first comes the disturbing details of how Shelby killed his brother-in-law, Nicholas Ivancic.
So you're watching TV, he falls asleep.
Yeah.
Where are you at when he falls asleep on that couch with all the blood stains, but it's at that point in time. it's
Here's
there.
how it happened. We're watching The Grinch and everything. He gets tired. He goes to sleep. I put the kids in the room. I wait until I think he's asleep. I fall asleep myself. And then I wake up at like 3, 4 in the morning. And then I grab the hammer. I tiptoe to him. And then I do what I did to them. You know, I don't like saying it, but I do what I did to them.
Same thing, same hammer?
Yeah.
So the same hammer you used the same hammer to kill all 3 of them.
Yes.
So he's asleep. I know it's hard to say, but we're almost there. You've gotten through 2.
Oh yeah, no.
Okay.
I know.
So you go up to Nick, and then what happens?
I crack him right here.
In the temple?
Yeah, and then I just keep hitting, like 7 to 8 times.
Is it any time does he wake up, or?
He like jolted awake at first, I think, but his body was in too much shock to like really process what happened.
Right, like he never like opened his eyes or said anything or anything like that.
No, none of that ever happened. I made sure that they, except with him, unfortunately, I made sure that they didn't feel any pain. They basically died instantaneously.
Okay.
Besides him.
So you kill him on the couch. Okay, then what do you do with his body?
I take it into his room.
Did you put him on anything, or do you just drag him?
I covered up his head and everything. Granted, I did it in the dark, and for some reason I knew that I hit him up the most out of everybody, and I don't know how.
And how did you know that? Just from the facial damage that you saw?
I didn't see any facial damage.
You said you knew you f***ed him up the most, so I was assuming that you saw the damage.
No, because blood went everywhere. And
As you're hitting him, blood's going everywhere.
Yeah, that was the first time that happened. So.
Okay. So when you hit the other 2, it wasn't.
Yeah, it wasn't a splatter rate.
Is unlike most. Shelby isn't holding anything back, nor is he trying to justify his actions. But what makes it truly unsettling is his complete lack of empathy as he describes everything in chilling detail. If he's trying to portray himself as an anti-hero or a psychopath, he's certainly doing a disturbingly convincing job. He exhibits clear psychopathic traits: impulsivity, egocentrism, parasitism, and lack of remorse, but he has not yet been deceptive. Or has he?
Trust me, my kids are my #1 priority.
I believe you wholeheartedly. For someone to do something of this extent to protect their kids, I'm not saying it's right. And I know you know it's not right? You know right from wrong, right? You know what you did was wrong. But at the time, I think maybe you thought you didn't have any other options, right?
Exactly.
You were out of pretty much out of gas, right? Out of options.
Yeah, I'm sure you're probably very surprised with my cooperation too.
I've been doing this a long time, and
Not really.
you never know. Fast forward just a little bit, and I know you'll tell me these are being completely cooperative. I know you went to the Home Depot in Port Richey, and you bought the tarps and the rope.
Oh yeah.
And what would
That was basically to put their bodies in, tie up, and put in the backyard or the front.
where you were digging the trench?
Yeah.
Okay. What day did you start digging the trench? If you killed them on the 15th and 16th, what day do you think it was you started digging the trench?
I would say a week later.
A week later?
Yeah. Definitely say a week later.
So you're staying in the house with them deceased and with your kids from the 15th and 16th until approximately a week later, and I'm assuming it's got to start smelling by then.
Well, yeah, I bought shit to help with the smell too. Incense was always going on. I had those Febreze things. I had like car shit. Kids were no longer sleeping in their room. They were like sleeping out there.
On those little love seats.
Yeah. There was another couch too, that dark brown couch that they would sleep on too.
Okay.
But yeah, they couldn't get buried. I couldn't move Rich.
So you start digging the trench. I mean, you made a lot of progress on that trench.
Yeah.
I mean, how many hours do you think you worked on that? Because that's a lot of work.
It only took me like 2 hours.
2 hours to dig that, and it's the shovel.
That was me being paranoid.
That was you on adrenaline and bang, and I got to get this done. I got to get these people buried, and I got to get out of here.
No, that was me going like, these people are definitely going to get sketched out here pretty soon by me digging this hole.
Right.
So I would go out and dig it little bits at a time.
Shelby then set out to cover up the massacre, even going so far as to switch Nick's Xbox with a PS4 to prevent anyone from tracking Nick's Microsoft account. While this might seem like a minor detail, it highlights just how meticulously Shelby had planned everything. And now, he was about to pose a question that no criminal would ever dare ask a detective.
Do you mind if I ask you something?
Sure.
Since I'm being cooperative, I'm just interested. Where did I with the car? Like, how'd you guys catch up to me? Was it the car that got me? I mean, I know I left it behind a bunch. I'm just curious.
There's a lot of things. There was no real one thing. There was a lot of things. I mean, you did things I think you may have thought you were doing them carefully, but you didn't.
Okay.
I'm not going to go into specifics.
Don't give me specifics. There's no reason to.
Yeah. I will say this. There wasn't one thing. So you can't beat yourself up over like, man, if I could have just done that one thing, you did a lot.
Okay.
It was traceable.
Okay.
So, what else do you take from the house?
His coin collection.
His coin collection.
Which
So
is on top of the fridge.
on top of the fridge where you live now.
Yes.
Okay. And what about IDs?
Yes.
Driver's licenses?
Yeah, I took that.
From who?
Rich and Nick. I could not find Laura's.
You looked for it, but you couldn't find it?
Yeah.
And what was the purpose of that?
Honestly, I know this company called LiveOps where you can work at home, but you gotta have a clean record. So that's what I was going to use that for.
You're going to use Nick's identity?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
What about Rich? Why did you take his?
Just to not leave behind evidence, It wasn't really the smartest thing to do, to be honest with you. I know you're trying to find a comprehensible reason as to why, but...
Right. Well, like I said, I'm trying to understand your mindset, what's going through your head, why you would do things. And so the coin collection...
was to get money, obviously.
Right.
So I can...
And there was like sheets of money too, right?
Yeah, you'll see the sheet of money in there.
So there's a sheet of money, collectible coins.
In the suitcase. Here. Want me to write it all down for you?
Sure. Yeah, right. You can write down everything you took from the house.
The murders of the Ivancic family are clear by now, but it's obvious that many would want to know what happened to the dogs. Animal cruelty is a serious offense, and here's what unfolded.
At what point do you kill the dogs? You said it was like right before you left the house.
So, The dog that was by the woman, or by Laura, he died on his own, basically.
Starving?
No. He had diabetes, and I didn't know how to, like,
Do the
administer that stuff.
Okay,
So
is that one of the ones in the, because there was one dog in a garbage bag, another dog in a garbage bag, and there was one in a rug.
this is the one on the rug.
The one in the rug died on his own because you didn't give him his insulin.
Well, he didn't die on, he was dying,
Okay.
and then I put him out of his misery.
How did you do that?
I just whacked him once with the side of the hammer, and he instantly died.
Okay.
I knew that he would die instantly, being that he was a small breed and everything.
Okay.
As far as the other dogs go, they got put in the bag the last night, and they suffocated and everything.
Okay, so you didn't hit him with the hammer, you just tied the bag shut and suffocated him. Okay. Because I examined the dogs, I mean, I couldn't see any, like, obvious damage. So that was one of my theories, was that they suffocated. The only thing was, the bags are dark, and I would assume the dog would have tried to scratch their way out, but I guess they didn't. Or I just didn't notice it.
Yeah.
Shelby killed 4 people he once loved and 3 defenseless dogs, claiming it was all for the right reasons. Yet his actions are so horrifying that even the devil might shy away from him.
I mean, I've basically told everything that I wanted to tell.
Okay.
I've made my,
Major piece.
you know that I didn't do this because I wanted to be evil and I wanted to kill people. I did it because I felt that I had no choice at that time period. You also know my wife was very abusive, both physically and mentally and emotionally. And like I said, please feel free to look into her record, and you can see all the police calls and all that shit. You'll see that. But
And like I said, I mean, we know you like Domino's pizza. I know that. I saw the Domino's boxes in the house and on the patio, and who like, is it the kids that love the chicken nuggets, or is that you too?
that's the kids. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny because that's just what I had going on at the house before you guys jumped.
Did Daddy, we want chicken? Oh, does your daughter talk? A little bit. And obviously your son's too young to talk, right?
Yeah.
Is he walking?
He's walking, yeah.
Is he?
I feel bad for them though. I really do, because
Well, I feel bad for them also. I mean, their mother's gone, and for all intents and purposes, now their dad's gone because of what, unfortunately, is bad decisions.
Shelby Nealy's mother was granted custody of the children, while Shelby himself pleaded guilty to all charges on December 13th, 2023. It's surprising that someone who confessed so calmly took 5 years to admit guilt officially. He was sentenced to 30 years in prison for killing Jamie, avoiding the death penalty by assisting officers in locating her body and cooperating throughout the investigation. For the murders of the Ivancic family, a judge scheduled the penalty phase for October 2024. During this phase, a jury will decide whether Shelby would face the death penalty or life in prison without parole for the triple homicide.